Hello, class. This is Professor Tweed here, and I'm going to continue to look at materials. I'm not really going to play with materials anymore, but I'm going to continue looking at these windows and reflections and stuff and really get into a little bit about lighting. It's a transition into lighting because you can control the reflections is really about how it's reflecting light. So that's why it's sort of the other side of the coin. And we're going to get more into lighting, I think, in another week. So this is just sort of the first bits about lighting. What I'm going to have to do to access the tools I need to do is I'm going to go over to this button here so I can see everything that's in my model, just not materials. And I'm going to go up to the environment, which is this is going to control. And you're going to see it's going to change the properties. And we're going to play with this thing right here, which is IBL, which is called image-based lighting. And basically what that does is taking this image and it's using it for my reflections, basically saying, hey, around my model is this picture, and so that's what it's going to reflect. But of course, this image that's the default, it doesn't uh, really represent my scene, and so it's not going to really reflect what I want it to reflect. So I can change this to something that more reflects my scene, and I'm just going to click here and I'm going to say new texture, and I'm literally going to go in and grab um, sorry, I don't want a new texture because that's making it. I want to replace my texture. I'm going to go in and grab that same image that I used as the background or something similar. It doesn't have to be the same one, but something with trees and sky and grass and all that good stuff. So I have to find where I have that image. I think it's right here. And I'm just going to say open. I'll let this load in. And we can see it might not look quite right when I have the IBL selected because it's changing the background and various things. What we can see is I got this ball that's really representing how this thing is wrapping, and we can see it's really changed a lot of the quality of my model. As I pull it around, especially those things that I set the reflection high in, you can see it's starting to reflect the grass or the trees as I pull it down. And I want to make sure they're sort of reflecting some sky and stuff. Um, so I'm trying to find it be difficult to work with a little bit here to get it just right. And the thing is too, like if you set this might take some time to get used to, but the reality is if you want to go back and use the more Photoshop tricks that I did in the more basic Photoshop, that also isn't wrong, but I want to show you how to do it this way as well. I think it's really hard to see exactly where it's going. I'm gonna try there again. You can always change it later. And then I can also change the intensity of this background. This is 100%, so it's looking, like the exact colors, but I can brighten it, which I probably don't want to do, or if I want to darken it, I can also darken it, which I don't want to go too dark, but I definitely might take down the darkness of that somewhat, or the intensity, I should say, is going to sort of make it darker. And when I'm done, I can go back to scene, and so it's going to sort of render it back. I don't see the entire IBL placed in front anymore, so it sort of helps me see how it works. But you can sort of notice the coloring is sort of the lighting is going to take on this quality of the environment a little bit, which is nice. And we may still might have to make adjustments on any one of these reflections, the intensity of that IBL, material bump maps, all of those things we might need to play with as we're going through. We'll have to render it to really see how it looks. And I haven't done this model yet, so when I render it, I also might need changes. But before we render it, we're going to do one more thing, which is one more thing looking at lighting, and I'll show that in the video, which is basically dealing with the sun.